7 things I can finally enjoy now that I'm older and wiser. Asterisk, I used to think getting older meant giving things up. Giving up adventure. Giving up beauty. Giving up the best parts of life, laughter so loud your stomach hurts, late night. Talks with people who make your heart feel safe. The thrill of a new dream. I really did believe that aging was a slow fade into silence. But I was wrong. It didn't happen all at once. Wisdom never does. It sneaks up on you. At first, you're busy surviving, raising kids, working hard, trying to make sense of who you are and where you're going. Then one day, you look around and the world feels softer, quieter, not because it changed, but because you did. Somewhere along the way, you stopped running, you stopped proving, and you started noticing. That's the day aging starts to become something beautiful. I remember a younger version of myself always chasing something. Chasing love, chasing approval, chasing a paycheck, chasing time. My days were packed with things I thought mattered. Calendars full of appointments, my head full of worries, and my heart full of not enough. I was always behind on sleep, behind on goals, behind on becoming who I thought I was supposed to be. But here's the thing they don't tell you when you're young. Some of life's sweetest pleasures don't show up until you slow down enough to feel them. Some joys only reveal themselves after decades of living, breaking, healing, and learning how to breathe in the silence. There's a strange magic that comes with age, not the kind you can post on Instagram, but the kind that fills your bones. When you're sitting on your porch at sunset and realize you don't want to be anywhere else. I didn't expect to enjoy growing older. But I do, more than I ever thought possible, because now I finally know how to enjoy things I used to overlook. I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm not measuring my worth by how much I get done in a day. I've traded urgency for peace. I've replaced noise with depth. And in the stillness of this stage of life, I found something far more precious than youth. I found clarity. I found freedom. I found joy that doesn't have to be loud to be real. So, if you're wondering whether there's anything to look forward to in getting older, there is. Oh, there is. I can't wait to share these 7 quiet, powerful joys that have only gotten better with time. Because while the world chases what's shiny and fast, I've learned to treasure what's true, and that has changed everything. There was a time when I said yes to almost everything. Yes, I'll be there. Yes, I can help. Yes, it's fine, I'll take care of it. I said yes even when I was tired. Even when I didn't want to. Even when my heart whispered no so loudly, I had to drown it out with a fake smile. Back then, I thought being a good person meant being available, agreeable, useful. I thought my worth lived in other people's approval, and saying no felt like failure. But the older I got, the more I realized that every yes came with a cost. Sometimes I paid with my energy, other times with my peace. I bent so far to please others that I forgot how to stand for myself. And slowly, I learned something most people don't learn until they're nearly worn out. A kind heart still has the right to set limits. Now, I say no and mean it. Not with cruelty, but with clarity. I say no to conversations that feel more like battles than connections. No to relationships that drain me instead of filling me. No to invitations that come with expectations but no joy. And here's the most liberating part. I say no without explaining, without apologizing, without spiraling into guilt, because I finally understand this. Every time I say no to what's not right for me, I'm saying yes to something better: my peace, my time, my truth. I wish I'd learned this earlier. But maybe it's something you can only learn through experience. After enough moments of self-betrayal, you finally decide to come home to yourself. And that's what aging has given me. The courage to come home. To anyone still learning this, saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you wise. It makes you whole. And it may just be the most loving word you ever speak to yourself. I used to wake up and hit the ground running. Alarm blaring, coffee brewing, emails buzzing, brain already sprinting toward the next thing. The day hadn't even started, and I already felt behind. Mornings were a blur of noise and necessity. Something to be survived, not savored. But not anymore. Now my mornings are sacred. I open my eyes to silence. Not the empty kind, but the soft kind that wraps around you like a warm blanket. I don't rush out of bed. I linger. I listen. To the quiet. To the birds. To the slow rhythm of my own breathing. I sit by the window with my coffee, real coffee. Not the take it to go kind, and I let the light wash over my face like a gentle hello. No meetings. No traffic. No racing the clock. Just me. The sky. And the sweet permission to be unhurried. It's in these slow mornings that I've come to understand presence. Not the idea, but the feeling. The way a small moment, when noticed, becomes enormous. The steam rising from the cup. The way the cat curls beside me. The tree outside swaying like it knows something I don't. And you know what? The world doesn't fall apart when I don't start fast. In fact, it opens up. There's something rebellious about slowness in a culture obsessed with speed. Something radical about resting your soul instead of your schedule. I used to think productivity was the key to a good day. Now I know peace is. And nothing sets the tone like the morning. If I could give anything to my younger self, it might be this: slow down. There's nothing you'll miss in stillness that's worth more than what you'll find in it. Mornings aren't just the start of the day, they can be the start of a better life. There are things I used to carry like they were stitched into my skin. Regrets I replayed every night like broken records. Words I wish I had said and words I wish I hadn't. Mistakes that haunted me. People who hurt me. Moments I couldn't change but couldn't seem to forgive. I held on because I thought letting go meant forgetting, or worse, giving up. But I know better now. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start healing. I've let go of the need to be right all the time. That one was hard. I spent years defending myself, proving myself, trying to be understood. But there's such peace in no longer needing to win every argument. I've learned to choose peace over pride, silence over being right. I've let go of the need to fix people. Oh, how I tried. Especially those I loved. But people change when they're ready, not when you're desperate. I wasted so much energy trying to carry others across finish lines they didn't want to reach. Now I know, love doesn't always mean saving. Sometimes it just means staying kind and stepping back. And perhaps hardest of all, I've let go of who I thought I should be. I spent decades measuring myself against invisible expectations. What success should look like, what a parent should be, what kind of life I should have lived. But I've laid all that down now. I've made peace with the crooked path I walked. The wrong turns taught me as much as the right ones. Grief, too, has shaped me. I've lost people I thought I'd never have to live without. And I've learned, letting go doesn't erase them, it honors them. It allows their memory to breathe, to smile, to live gently in me without pain sharp enough to pierce. There's a quiet kind of power in surrender. Not the weak kind, the wise kind. The kind that says, I can't carry this anymore, and that's okay. I used to think strength meant holding on. Now I know it takes far more courage to let go. I used to fill every quiet moment with something: noise, distraction, activity. Silence made me uneasy. It felt like I was wasting time if I wasn't doing something, achieving something, crossing something off a list. So I'd turn on the TV, scroll through a screen, call someone just to fill the air with sound. Anything to avoid the stillness. But now, I treasure silence like an old friend. There's something sacred about a quiet room. A space where no one is performing, no one is watching. Just breath and thought and the sound of the world doing what it does without you having to manage it. The tick of a clock, the wind through an open window, the soft hum of life continuing effortlessly. I don't rush to fill the silence anymore. I listen to it. I sit in it. I let it speak. Because that's where I hear the truth, now not in the chatter, not in the clamor of opinions or the race of deadlines, but in the hush. That's where the real questions come, the ones you can't answer with words. The ones that help you know yourself better. Am I at peace? Am I proud of how I loved? What do I want this day to feel like? There's a kind of joy that only exists in quiet. You find it in slow walks, in staring up at the sky, in writing down a memory just for yourself, in reading a book not to finish it, but to feel it. It's the kind of joy that doesn't scream for your attention, but once you notice it, you wonder how you ever lived without it. Younger me would have called this doing nothing. Older me knows it's everything, because it's in the quiet moments that I remember who I am, not who I'm trying to be, not who the world wants me to be, but the person beneath all of that. And you know what? I really like her. One of the most beautiful things about getting older is that your circle gets smaller, and that becomes a blessing. Not a lost dot in my younger years. I felt this pressure to be everywhere, know everyone, say yes to every invitation, respond to every message. There was a sense that more people meant more life, that being busy socially was a sign of being loved, valued, important. But I've lived long enough to learn this. Depth beats breadth every time. Now I choose my people carefully. I sit longer with fewer friends. I listen deeper. I talk slower. I invest in the relationships that feel like home, those rare souls who let me show up as I am, without makeup or pretense or performance. The ones who don't need me to be entertaining. Just real. I don't chase approval anymore. I don't keep people around out of habit or guilt. I don't measure friendship by years, but by presence, by how safe I feel when I'm around them. Some of those people are family by blood. Others are family by choice. And with each one, there's a quiet understanding our time is precious. We don't take each visit, each phone call, each "I love you" for granted. We know better now. And let me tell you, there's nothing like the joy of sitting beside someone you love and not needing to say a word. Just being. Just knowing they're there. I've also come to cherish time with the youngest and the oldest. Grandchildren, neighbors, old friends whose memories are fading, but whose laughter still lights up a room. These connections remind me that love doesn't live in big gestures. It lives in small, ordinary moments, shared meals, inside jokes, holding hands without needing to fix anything. The people who truly matter don't add chaos to your life. They add peace. And once you've tasted that kind of peace, you won't settle for anything less. I used to treat my body like a project. Something to be sculpted, shaped, judged. I stood in front of mirrors picking it apart, comparing it to magazine covers, criticizing every flaw as if my reflection determined my value. I remember all the times I skipped meals or skipped joy just to chase some ideal that never truly existed. And if I could go back and talk to that younger version of myself, stand beside her as she frowned at her thighs or hit her belly or worried about wrinkles, I'd say, please don't wait until you're older to be kind to the body that carries you. Because now, this body of mine, it's not perfect, but it's precious. It's the body that carried babies and carried grief. The hands that held lovers and letters and trembling coffee cups after long nights. The knees that danced when I was young and still try when no one's watching. The scars that tell stories I've survived. The skin that's weathered decades of sun, laughter, and time. I used to resent it. Now I thank it. I thank my legs for still walking me around the garden. I thank my eyes for still seeing beauty, even through glasses. I thank my back even when it aches, for all the years it stood tall for me. Aging teaches you to stop waging war on your own body. It teaches you that the lines on your face aren't flaws, they're evidence of feeling, of smiling, of living. Of course, I still care for it. I move, I nourish, I rest, but not because I want to change it. I do it because I respect it, This body is my home. And after all these years, I've finally made peace with living in it. If you're young and already hating your body, hear me. Don't waste decades wishing to be different. Start today. Thank your body. Move with love. Rest without guilt. And know that one day, you'll look back and realize you were never broken. Just unkind to something already good enough. For most of my life, I lived by someone else's blueprint. I followed the rules. I checked the boxes. I played the roles handed to me: daughter, spouse, employee, parent, neighbor. I did what was expected. I kept the peace. I nodded when I disagreed. I smiled when I was exhausted. I kept my dreams quiet and my disappointments quieter, because that's what you're told to do, isn't it? Be responsible. Be reasonable. Be realistic. But somewhere along the way, I realized something radical. This is my life. Not a rehearsal, not a trial run, not a draft to be edited later. And if I didn't start living it on my terms, I might never get the chance. So I started saying yes to the things that called to me, and no to the things that didn't. I stopped performing and started becoming. I wore what I liked. I spoke how I felt. I rested when I was tired. I stopped asking for permission to exist as I am. Now, I live by rhythm, not pressure. I follow what feels honest, not what looks impressive. I garden when I want to feel connected to the earth. I paint even if the colors don't match. I volunteer, not to look generous, but because being useful fills my heart. I take naps in the middle of the day and stay up late with a good book, just because I can. I'm no longer chasing success as defined by someone else. I've redefined it for myself. Success now means joy, peace, integrity, moments that feel like me. There's something extraordinary about finally living for your own soul. Not your resume, not your reputation, not your past or your plans. Just you. And the best part? It's never too late. You can rewrite the story at any age. You can reinvent. You can return. You can rise. No one hands you the permission slip to live freely, but age, if you let it, quietly does. It whispers, now is your time, not to prove, not to impress, but to be. When I was younger, I feared aging like it was a slow descent into irrelevance. I imagined shrinking into the background, fading into silence, becoming less and less of who I was. But the truth is, getting older didn't make me disappear. It made me reappear. With every year, I've peeled off the layers of who I thought I had to be, and underneath it all, I found someone richer, deeper, softer, stronger. Someone who knows how to love without losing herself. Someone who doesn't measure her worth by how full her calendar is. Someone who isn't afraid of quiet or solitude, or even sadness, because she knows it all passes and beauty returns. I thought aging would take things away from me. And yes, it has taken some things: speed perhaps, and smooth skin, and the illusion that I could control it all. But it has given me far more. It gave me my voice. It gave me my wisdom. It gave me time to savor the things I used to rush through. It gave me clarity about what really matters and the courage to let go of what doesn't. I now enjoy life in ways I never could when I was younger. Not because everything is perfect, but because I'm no longer waiting for it to be. I find joy in a slow morning, in a gentle no, in the hands I hold, in the silence I once feared, in the body I once criticized, in the freedom to finally live as me. And that, my friend, is the gift of aging. So if you're afraid of getting older, don't be. It's not the ending. It's the beginning of a life that's quieter, truer, and more beautiful than you ever expected. You're not too late. You're right on time. And some of the best moments of your life, they might just be waiting on the other side of now.